Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power, as always, giving honor to the Creator and the ancestors. My sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my in-laws, my father, my subscribers, all my brothers and sisters, and family that are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. As always, including my strongest supporters, donators, and subscribers and viewers. And today, I'm going to talk about the murder of Don Cornelius, who you may not know was brutally murdered. And Don Cornelius was responsible for creating the greatest one of the greatest black shows of all time, Soul Train. You know, and I can remember getting up in the morning on Saturday mornings, looking forward to seeing Soul Train, to see, you know, what entertainers, black entertainers and performers were going to be on there, because rarely back in the day did you see black performers on television, you know, such as the Jacksons. You know, I couldn't wait to see them, you know, on Saturday mornings, because by me having several brothers, you know, we wanted to be like the Jackson 5. And it was a result of, you know, watching Soul Train and all the powerful blacks that Don Cornelius brought, you know, with the incredible vision that he had, you know, to bring some of our greatest entertainers that ever lived, you know, on Soul Train. And if you made it to Soul Train, you made it, you know. And then some people, such as Shalimar, Jody Watley, Howard Hewitt, Jeffrey Daniels, who were Soul Train dancers, that became a group called Shalimar. And Jeffrey Daniels with the Bush was the first one to come out with the moonwalk, in which Michael Jackson personified it and made it so famous and iconic. But Jeffrey Daniels was the first one that came on television with that moonwalk. And as you know, Jody Watley and Howard Hewitt, they went on to have successful solo careers, you know, as a result of Soul Train. You know, Don Cornelius was a tall, a big brother. As you can see how you can compare him to James Brown. You see how big he is, towering over James Brown. But they came through Soul Train. You know, Stevie Wonder, you know, making his debut on Soul Train. You know, and these were live performances. You know, the Staple Singers. And what really people focused on were the main two things, other than the performers, was the Soul Train, the infamous Soul Train line. You know, and that's where you learned about all the dances that black people had during that time from all different parts of the world, as well as the scramble board. You know, it was a board where it would be different names, anybody from Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, to the Isley Brothers, you know, and you had a certain amount of seconds to you know, find the name or the person on the board. Real powerful game. Real powerful game. Very, very fun. And this was all on Saturday mornings, you know, in the 70s, 80s. But by the time the 90s, mid-90s came, it was all over. You know, it took on a whole new genre. Now, I'm getting ready to show you some things that aside from the wonderful things that Soul Train brought and the products, I wanted to show y'all the Afro Sheen and the blowout kits and things of that nature that those commercials that Don Cornelius promoted, helped the Johnson family make so much money and become successful. But as you know, with us, the brothers, every time that they get together, when they become successful, they grab a Ice 8, they grab a Snow Monkey bitch, that takes them to hell, that provides them with a living hell, glamorous in its beginnings, because you see, niggas like to show the white bitch off first. You got to show her off. If she got any type of shape, which is slim to none, unless they get surgery. You niggas like to show them off. Look what I've got. A ski bitch. You got a cave wife. You got a motherfucker, snow dog, ice puppy, and you want to show this creature to everybody. And all she does, once again, is bring you glamour, then hell. Pure fucking hell. And Victoria Cornelius, who's a Russian model, who has deep ties, and I'm talking blood-wise, with the Russian mafia. She was a bad news whore from the beginning. And Don Cornelius' son, Tony Cornelius, who basically, Don King had two sons, Raymond and Tony, Raymond and Anthony. However, Raymond was never around, and Tony Cornelius, very, very questionable about his role and everything. What we do know through investigation, that he is a money-hungry nigga. And when I say that, I'm talking about in terms of his father. Very, very money-hungry nigga. And the Soul Train, like once again, like I said, Soul Train was a household product. But what happened, Viacom ended up purchasing Soul Train. And this is the main reason Don Cornelius was murdered. Because he had refused to sell Soul Train to these devils. To these fucking devils. This piece of shit here, this piece of shit Robert Bakish, who owns Viacom, and he wanted to take Soul Train while the black community has supported Soul Train for over 40 years. What they wanted to do was take all of that support and put it in their pocket. Throw Don Cornelius out of the motherfucking picture. Now, Robert Bakish, who is a so-called imposter, cracker, Jew piece of fuck, who is worth $13.25 billion, wanted to take Viacom and whiten Viacom up and purchase Soul Train. These are the same people that was behind the gobbling of these music companies such as Death Row, ruthless. See, I'm talking about behind Sony, behind Interscope and all those other motherfuckers. And at the same time, this bitch was setting Don Cornelius up with this phony pillow talk into selling, everything that he worked for. Bob Johnson, Don Cornelius refused to be a Bob Johnson and sell out his company that he worked so hard for. Because Bob Johnson did that shit with BET, Video Sold. Sold it to Viacom. Now, I didn't tell y'all, as you may know, Don King was murdered. It wasn't no fucking suicide. And I'm going to prove it to you. To show you all, when you don't play ball, this is what happens. And when I say play ball, I'm talking about having the protection that you need where you can stand up and tell these motherfuckers, kiss my ass, and they better not come. And if they bring it, they're going to get the straight fucking smash. This is, like I said, I do intensive research. This is the x-ray from Don Cornelius' skull, from the top of the skull. And if you look and see where the skull diagram with the most white to it, that's where the bullet was supposed to hit. One side of his head and exit down by the neck, which is very, very fucking unheard of. Now, there were, the day King Don Cornelius was murdered, there were two former Soul Train dancers that left his house prior to Don Cornelius being found dead of a supposedly gunshot wound. Now, let's talk about why would you wait till you 75 and after you have conquered, everything that you could possibly conquer, no wants for anything in the world. You're 75 years old. You've had a successful life. You've had one of the best black shows in black history. And you're 75. Why would you wait to blow your brains out? And you still are a multi-millionaire. Doesn't make sense. Now, I'm just looking over my notes. Now, Don Cornelius, prior to the murder, was charged with domestic violence. And you remember when I told you all, this is part of the setup. The white bitch got to get some shit on paper to provide a motive, to provide your fucking motive. So what she did, probably punched herself in the face, got to fighting with Don Cornelius. Don probably slapped all the shit out of her motherfucking ass. So the police come, and when it's a domestic violence, the black male is automatically guilty. Automatically guilty. And so what happened, he was placed on paper, put on 3 years probation. Now, Shamar Moore said that Don Cornelius had Alzheimer's and dementia. How would you know that? How did you know that, Shamar Moore? What part did you play in Don Cornelius' murder? Because somehow your faggot, bisexual ass ended up hosting Soul Train in its final stages. Out of all the other celebrities, and you're not a celebrity, you are a fucking actor. Now, how did you manage the whole Soul Train, and how did you know Don Cornelius had Alzheimer's and dementia? How do you know that? Because both are damn near identical. So how were you able to differentiate the two? In 1982, when Soul Train was really popping, that's when the Jacksons, everyone, all the bands, Cameo, Confunction, the Commodores, Earth, Wind and Fire, Brick, they were all at the top of their game. Don Cornelius stated that in 1982, he had a brain procedure. And Don stated that he never was the same again. What did he mean by that? Was a chip placed in his brain then? Because they were out. What took place to make him say that he was never the same again? He was worth $15 million. Now, he had 2 life insurance policies. Now, you remember I always tell y'all, look to see who benefits from the death or the murder. This white cave bitch, this snow dog, had two fucking life insurances policies on Don Cornelius. 2. Now, the medical examiner, this is what the medical examiner says. This is the brain buster right here. The medical examiner said Don Cornelius was stabbed over 30 times. This was never reported. The medical examiner had written it down. Somehow, the paperwork disappears. Because, see, they can easily be paid off. And we got to stop believing what the autopsy said this. The autopsy said that. So what? What do you think? A medical examiner is a goddamn machine? Is a computer? It's a motherfucking cracker. Who with the right amount of money can make your cause of death whatever you want it to be. Let's get clear about this. Now, Don Cornelius is 75. This white bitch got 2 insurance policies. If you notice, everything she has on is always provocative, showing them old pale, dried up, white, dusty, flower-looking, motherfucking, no melanated fucking tits. They cannot produce any children. Because, the white bitch, and that's how she does. She mutilates herself, constantly rapes herself, meaning masturbate. Because for those who masturbate, all you're doing is raping yourself. That's all you're doing, raping the living shit out you. And the white bitch is famous for that. They're always laying down. They don't read the book. They can't think. If they laying in the bed and there's nobody fucking them, next thing you know, they stick their hand down their fucking panties. Now, now Don Cornelius, as you know, he fought in the Korean War too, as well as being a, he was a police officer in Chicago police officer for a small, quite some time, a small period, you know, and then, when Don passes, the son starts, he creates his own show. Once again, it was no indication of Don King having any problems where it will result in him taking his own life. He had to walk of fame. He had to stop. Loved by many, hated by very few. And Stevie Wonder had a strong connection with Don Cornelius. And it's a sad thing that our brothers, have to go out like this. Because Don Cornelius was not, he did not commit suicide. There was no indication of suicide. Don Cornelius was stabbed over 30 times and he was shot in the head. Very, very simple. At 75 years old, why would you commit suicide? It doesn't make sense. Unless you got a ski monkey under your arms that has 2 life insurance policies on your ass waiting for you to die so she can be with who she really wants to be with or who she has been fucking the entire time you all were together. Think about it, brothers and sisters. This shit is not a game. We lost a good man. We allow our leaders, we allow our pioneers in the game to just be murdered and we don't say anything. And see, what a lot of you niggas will do, you'll believe what the crackers say just for the sake that you don't have to be responsible and stand up and defend him because he was murdered. And I'm not just talking about Don Cornelius. I'm talking about our people, period. And as a way to escape being responsible and saying, let's try to form our own court system, our own executioners. And it's possible. I'm not going to explain how, but it's possible that we can hold court with motherfuckers that are responsible for taking our leaders and our heroes and sheroes out of here. So we have to stop this bullshit. So it's easy to say, oh, that's what they said. The white man said this white, you say that so you won't say, damn, I got to be responsible. I need to link up with some brothers and let's put these motherfuckers out here. See, I don't have to worry about what I say because I got to report to the Mr. Cracker in the morning at the plantation. I don't have that dilemma. However, those who do have it, when are you going to step up? You step up for everything else, but you won't step up for your brother. The white bitch needs to be seen. It needs to be a serious motherfucking discussion with her present. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Because this bitch played a major role. I believe she may have been the one who actually stabbed Don. Because she could have, if she were caught or charged with that, she could have used that charge, that bogus shit when she had Don on 3 years paper for this domestic shit. And she would have walked. She would have walked because she got paperwork saying Don beat her ass. So by stabbing Don 30, 40 motherfucking times, that lie, that piece of paper got her off. That's why there was no, number two reason that there was no investigation involving her. She was not questioned, in which she should have been. You know, brothers and sisters, Don Cornelius was a visionary. He actually made the dream, made the vision and the dream a reality for millions of black people. On Saturdays, when all during the week you had to watch all these white fucking shows. And so on Saturday, we saw people that looked like us for that 1 hour, dancing, singing, playing games. A lot of times live performances. So we need not to forget Don Cornelius, the Soul Train man. I hope you learned something from this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment, and let me know what you got out of the video. Did you learn anything? And once again, your support, your donations are greatly appreciated. And I'll be back shortly with another video. Hotep, Black Power.